The Vergas Show is brought to you by Spanky's Stone Hearth, casual fine dining on the shores of beautiful Rose Lake.
With 2 locations in Vergas and Perham, make the right call. Call Hanson's, the most trusted name in plumbing and heating.
Vergas State Bank, your locally owned full-service bank.
Hi, welcome to the Vergas Show. I'm Sherry Hanson. Thanks for joining me today. I have 2 gentlemen with me here that have agreed to talk to us on our Veteran Series. As you remember, last week we had Ron Franklin from the Vietnam War era, and he talked to us a little bit about being in the Army branch. He was a physical therapist, both him and his wife, and ended up retiring colonel, and so he made it a lifetime career for himself. And I'm here with 2 World War II veterans today. I'm with Bob Lamm, Alwyn Martinson. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll start right out with just saying thank you for your service, and we just, as a nation, just need to continue to remember all that the veterans did for us. And so that's one of the reasons we're doing this. And the other thing that I do want to continue to mention is that I think I've got a slot for one more veteran. If you want to give me a call, I would just love to get you on and hear your story. We're going to start with Bob Lamm this morning, and it's going to be a 2-part, and next week you're going to hear the full story from Alwyn. But I wanted both of the World War II guys together with me. And Bob, I just wanted to hear a little bit about you. We were talking, and I was just so interested in how at 17 years old, right off of the farm, you were called up and asked to...
I wasn't called up. I would have been 17.
So tell me a little bit about what branch you were in and how that all got started.
I was in the Navy, and I enlisted in the Navy in October 42, I think it was, or something like that. I can't tell you for sure. But anyway, I went to boot camp out in Green Bay, Wisconsin for, well, not very long. Then they shipped us up to... Anyhow, wound up at Whidbey Island, Washington.
Okay.
And from there went down to Astoria, Oregon, aboard to put a new aircraft carrier commission. It was the USS Natoma Bay, and it was from the time the keel was laid till it was launched was 6 months and 3 days. So in other words, that's how long it take to turn out a carrier. And
so they made one. That's, from the time they started it till they got it done. That's how long? 6 months and 3 days.
Yeah, well, maybe a little long because I was supposed to get the keel laid. And then, well, anyway, I was sent down there, and it was launched at Astoria, Oregon. From there, we went out to Columbia River in the open water, but we had to go back up to Bremerton to get some fuel and food to get down to San Diego.
That's a good thing to have.
Yeah. Anyway, I remember the captain, he leaning over the bridge, heaving all the way up there. It didn't bother me a bit.
Well, that's a good thing if you're in the Navy, right?
Yeah. So we went down to San Diego, and we loaded up with fuel and ammunition and loaded the plane down with... not just our squadron of planes, but ours. We had our full.
Okay.
We ferried them to Honolulu, and they took them off there, and we come back to San Diego and got another load and went back there, and then they then they decided to push us a little farther south. They kept pushing us farther and farther south.
Okay, sure.
And so pretty soon we were...
In the South Pacific.
Well, we were in hostile waters,
Right.
And...
what was your position?
I was a third-class guards mate.
Okay.
I had 2 twin 40 millimeters and 4 20 millimeters. And the guns were on the starboard side just forward of the superstructure, I don't think it was probably 30, 40 feet. And I could send my guns, we could just look across the flight deck, about a foot to have.
Okay.
Because the catapult was straight across us. And we, my train of thought here.
Your ship was, give me the dimension. How big was it? Do you remember that?
That I remember was, you just read it, and there's 498 feet, 10 inches, and it had a 10 65 feet across the beam.
Okay.
That's the width of the deck, see? And
So it was like a little city.
oh yeah. I don't know what we must have had. I don't know, 1,500, 2,000. I couldn't remember the number of people. And we. So anyway.
So you were in the South Pacific,
Yeah.
and then did you ever? Where would you land? I mean, would you ever have leaves over in the different countries? No,
Never.
No.
Once we were at sea, you never got off of it.
You never got off. Okay.
We seen this wasn't too long after Pearl Harbor, see, so that was a royal mess. And from there we kept, I remember, well, they kept pushing a little farther and farther south, as we got more experience, and that too. And I remember I can't remember the name of all them. There's about 1 million
islands out there.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I remember we was at Wetak. That's where they set off the first atomic explosion. And there was only one entrance. It's all coral. You could, from the top of the bridge, you can look right across there. They weren't more than 60 feet high, and there wasn't a tree on it. And there was only one entrance into that. So we had a gate plus a submarine to operate that, keep that gate shut, keep Jap subs out of there. He'd been had a heyday if he'd got in there. And well, anyway, we got out of there and we just kept going farther south. I don't know, from Saipan and
You were in for 4 years, Bob.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And do you have one experience from it that that you recall that really sticks with you?
Well, the one that really scared me was we, like I said, we run with another carrier, and they called. There was a battle going on somewhere. I don't know. It could have been 40, 60 miles away, and they wanted all the planes from both of our carriers. Well, that leaves us really vulnerable. See, so we was hiding in this fog bank, and I remember the captain called all the pilots together just because we were right below the bridge, and I hear every word he said. He said, "Boys, now," he says, you sink that carrier, or you may not have a home to come back to."
That got your attention.
Yeah, you bet it did. And we, so we were ready, and after, I don't know, a period of time, we could hear this planes hunting for us. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. They might be didn't sunk the carrier, right away. That was number one. And when they come back, anyway, after a while, we heard these planes hunting for us.
Sure.
And they had to get right down and almost skim the water to
just...
Yeah, to see us, see.
You could have probably just about touched them, right? And
yeah, so I'd say at the time we first seen them, it couldn't have been more than 300 or 400 feet, see.
Right.
Well, now, that plane is going, say it's going 300, 400, 200, I don't know how fast, even 200 miles an hour. How long does it take you to go 300 feet?
Right.
You're talking millisecond, the snap of a finger.
that it could have, right.
And
You made it through it,
instant we seen him, we all started firing at once. Well, just milliseconds, he was on us, and he was coming right straight at us. He could not have missed us, and I was, you don't have time to think. You don't even get scared. Mm-hmm. And just as he got within the snap of his fingers, he still had a hold of the stick. He fell over and hung on the stick just long enough, and that plane stood on his tail. As it went over the top of me, I was sure I could reach up and touched
him. Thankfully you did.
It just made it across the flight deck, was 65 feet. Then it exploded. Of course, shrapnel and everything went that way.
Right.
And,
well, Bob, we got to wrap it up today, but we're going to come back with Alwyn, and I'm going to just let you finish that up. But make sure you stay tuned for Alwyn Martinson for next week. Thank you. You have a good day in Vergas.